Hey, I wanted to make this video to show a few ways to export your Wii save data to another Wii or to an emulator such as the Dolphin emulator. One of the big reasons I wanted to do this was to export my Call of Duty and Animal Crossing data from one Wii to the next. After this Wii here broke. After the CD drive would not read, I transferred the Wii data to this Wii, but I always felt like something was missing, and I was finally able to export the data from this Wii to this Wii and also to the Dolphin emulator. But it took a lot of work, and I couldn't find ways that didn't involve that use some apps that didn't work on my homebrew channel. I'm going to go through the save data from the ways that involves least amount of overwriting to the most. So from the least amount of overwriting you will need to do, all you need to have is an SD card, preferably one that has probably around at least 4 GB data. By the 2020s, SD card data is cheap, so you should be able to get probably 32 gigabytes for $5 if you're on sale to about $20. But all you go is to go into save data, Wii, and manually export the data that you would need to export. So for instance, let's say I would copy Super Mario Galaxy. I would select copy, and it would copy the SD card. And if you want to copy it from the SD card to the Wii or the Dolphin emulator, there is a button for import, and you would just copy that. However, some games such as Animal Crossing will simply not copy over. Same thing with the Call of Duty series. Oh, okay, so Call of Duty 3 works, but say Black Ops and Call of Duty World at War will not transfer over, after which you will need the homebrew channel to modify your Wii to find the save data that way. Now, I'm not going to go over how to install the homebrew channel, but once you have there are lots of guides for that. Once you have that installed, just click Start, and I'm going to show you a few apps you can use. So one of the ways to use it is to use Save Manager GX. Notably, when you download it from the homebrew channel, use Save Manager GX. Do not use Save Game Manager. Save Game Manager GX is a port of Save Game Manager that is a fork of Save Game Manager that is kept up to date. The original Save Game Manager does not work with the original. It does not work with current versions of the Wii, which is the most up to date one is 4.3, and the Save Game Manager does not work with that. So I had some Wii issues, so I'm just going to restart this. So there's up to the Save Game Manager GX is an app that allows you to extract save games files and even Mii's, including ones that cannot be exported. So I'm going to show you how that will work in a second. So the most up-to-date one is 127. Make sure you have the latest up-to-date one. The one from the Wii homebrew channel is Rev 76. If I highly recommend you manually download the homebrew app onto your SD card and use the newest update revision, because people have had more success using that one than the current one. Also, in order to use Save Game Manager GX, you have to make sure you have an update CLiOS. So once you have that, boot it up, and you have that here. Now, normally to use Save Game Manager GX, you would basically be able to go into the Wii, select your Wii's. So for instance, here are all the Wii's I had saved on my device, and you're able to copy the Mii's that way. But as far as Save Game Manager goes, you want to go into Mii and select Export. So for some reason, I believe nothing's showing up on my end. I have the most up-to-date one, and I assume the reason this is not showing up is because I have an out-of-date homebrew manager. I made this when I was a stupid kid, and I had no idea what I was doing wrong. And even if I did do something right, probably the homebrew manager I have isn't working. So if you're starting from scratch and you want scratch, you probably better off starting with the most up-to-date homebrew manager, and then going through that way, so you don't have the same homebrew manager as me. But if you have games showing up here, what you want to do is go into this arrow keys, select type, we saves, from the source, select we, and extract to default. Now, just like the SD card slot, you're going to overwrite the data you have and extract all the data that is available on your Wii, and hopefully you won't get an error like it does with me. Yeah. So if you do have this error, don't worry and spend a few days updating like I did. What you want to do, there are 2 more apps that should be able to allow you to extract the saves. The last solution is to find a NAND dumper. So, for instance, the one you could use nanddump iOS. Hell no, homebrew channel required. Going back. I just use dump me NAND. So the NAND file is the entire flash memory of the Wii. This will dump the entire flash memory of the Wii, including the channels, Mii's, and save data from the flash memory onto an SD card. From there, once you have the full NAND file, you would extract it onto your new device, such as the Wii or the Dolphin emulator, and you should be able to get most of your saves back that way. Now, I warn you about using this one because it will overwrite all the previously included save files. But if you're starting fresh and you don't have devices, any save data you want to keep, you should be able to use the NAND file to overwrite all the information from your previous Wii. So the reason I didn't do it for this Wii was because I had save data from the newer Wii I had that I wanted to keep, so I didn't do that. But this worked for getting my old Animal Crossing Village from one device to the next. Dolphin emulator. So from there, I was able to go from here, Dolphin emulator. Extra simulation. So once you have the NAND file, at least the same thing should be available on desktop, but you go into you go into file and then import boot me NAND backup, and you should have your save data that way. I just want to show you just to prove that works. I managed to get my old Animal Crossing save from probably almost a decade ago back and visit my old village. See, I got my old friend Alice here, and including all my old P population back. This solution isn't perfect. Now, this solution isn't perfect. I've had some games that just aren't able to transfer over. Smash Bros. Brawl and Donkey Kong Country have not been able to transfer successfully, but my Call of Duty saves were able to go through. Luckily, Donkey Kong Country is able to be saved manually, so you should be able to import to save using that file, using the file I mentioned before. But however, when I boot up my old Smash Bros. Brawl, it completely uses a new save file, and I'm not able to get the information that way. All right, just to show you, for some reason, I had a full substate emissary group, and I wasn't able to export that. Just wanted to look at it just for posterity's sake. Yep, completely empty, no save data. Well, that makes me sad. But anyways, I hope this video help you export your old Wii save data from old Wii save data, and if you're like me, get your old Animal Crossing Village back.